Oh, yeah.
Hello friends, Coop from Garage Gym Reviews here today, and we have something very unique. This is the Gungnir, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, Gungnir, it's from Norway. I'm not, what's a Norway person from Norway? Norwegian? Norwegian.
Nailed it.
I am not Norwegian, I'm Midwestern, okay? But this is the Gungnir Allrounder. And although the bar itself is pretty good, and I'll talk about it a little bit, the main component that I want to spend some time on is this right here. This right here is, I wouldn't call it revolutionary, but I would say it's evolutionary. This right here is a built-in collar. So it's a collar that's built into the sleeve. So basically, you throw a plate on, go ahead and throw it, 100-pounder here. You throw this bad boy on there, onto the end, you then grab this little piece right here, pull up, slide it in. It is now locked in, okay? Genius, okay? I don't know what you're thinking. You know, you may be thinking, that's stupid, I'll just use regular collars. But the ease of use for this thing is incredible. Because if you're thinking, just for you guys that are training at home, the thing that I most often lose is my barbell collars. Like, I'm always looking for them. When we train people here in the gym, we're always looking for collars. So a collar that's built into the sleeve is absolutely genius. I mean, it's just easy to use, throws on, it stays on tight, you know, it's just solid, okay? And it uses a very simple system, which I think is really the best part. I'm sure, you know, people have thought of this kind of idea before. If you look at maybe some of the old Russian barbells, they use like these sleeves that have slits in them. You put this special collar on that tightens down, that then goes into the sleeves. This is a similar idea, but the difference is it's much more simpler, and it has the collar built in rather than it being, you know, extraneous. So because this collar is here, you just pull it up, slide it on, and drop it in, and you can hear that satisfying, here, come in close. See, can you hear this? It's just nice, you know? Just, there's something about it that just like, it makes you go, ah, satisfying, okay? But it drops in there and then it locks in, it doesn't go anywhere. And the way it's able to do that is it's just a simple piece of, I would guess this is cast aluminum with magnets on the inside. The magnets on the inside allow it to basically drop in, that nice noise that you hear, and then there's like basically slits that go into these parts that make it, you know, keep from moving. So it just drops in really smoothly. I mean, it just works, okay? But the biggest question is not, hey, does it work? The biggest thing that I see people talk about is, Coop, what happens if that breaks? Or Coop, is that actually going to hold? We did our barbell test, or our barbell collar test, where we tested and suggested the best barbell collars for most people. And one of the things we found is that the ones that you should really suggest are the ones that stay on. They're both easy to use and they stay on a long time. Well, that's what we're going to test. We're going to test to see how long this bad boy stays on, if it's worth using for high repetition work, that sort of thing. And then we'll go into kind of some of the costs and that sort of thing, because it is, as you would guess, it's a little bit pricey. So let's test it out. So for the first test, what we're going to do is I'm just going to go throw some 45-pounders, 20-kilogram plates on here, and I'm just going to do some like cleans, some just random repetition cleans. Not going to do grace or anything like that, 30 reps for time. But I'm just going to throw them on here, and I'm just going to do some cleans and drop it from random distances at random angles, and we'll see how it holds. This one on there, okay. All right, we'll try one from overhead. A clean and a jerk. I'm not babying this, by the way. I'm just throwing it down. This one I'm gonna try and go at an angle. See how it works. Okay, let's put it on the rack. Take a look. That's pretty nice. That is pretty nice. Let's try the other one. Pretty nice. No lying. Okay, we have to test another one. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the same thing we did with the other collars. We're gonna place it on something stationary so it's standing up. We're gonna put some weights on it, then I'm gonna jump on it. That will not be the final act, by the way. We have something special for the final act, but this is your mid-act. Let's do it. Put this bad boy on here. Okay, it's on there. I'm gonna do this, I learned my lesson last time from falling, so I'm gonna do this a little bit more intelligently. Put these on here. Inside. Shoop. Afternoon delight. All right, so now I'm gonna jump on this bad boy, see how it holds. This is obviously something that none of you will ever do in the gym. I hope not, but let's give you a good idea. Okay, I'm going all out. I mean, I'm wearing my steel toe New Balances, so this baby should be going through. All right, pocket's coming out. Boop. All right, let's take her out. Excalibur! Still on there. Moment of truth. Okay, there it is. All right, that's pretty sweet. Still holds. All right, we have one more thing to do. I'm gonna somehow jimmy rig this so I can get it up on here. I'm then gonna climb up on top and then I'm gonna throw it off basically from high up. We'll see what happens. All right, let's try. Okay. This is not something I recommend doing in your home gym. But somebody's got to do it, so might as well be me. The thinner the plate is, this is actually a fun fact for you. The thinner the plate is, the more damage it does to the bar. You'd think, well, more weight would do worse. No, but because they're so thin, it has nothing to do with weight, but because they're so thin, the way that they hit, it causes more shock. So when Rogue was like basically determining their F-type series bars and they were testing them with SCA Limited, they found that the 10-pound bumpers used in like CrossFit gyms that are dropped overhead are the most hazardous to barbells rather than like your 55s because you have all this sleeve hanging off and it's just like this leverage point. So fun fact, no charge. This is what we're gonna use. Beautiful. I should be wearing like a hard hat or something for this. Beep. Beep. Okay. Oh, so satisfying. Okay, just so everybody's watching, we're gonna clip this bad boy in. Pop. It's like when you open up a can of Bush, you know, it's like Bush. Hold steady there, Pally. Okay. All right. Get my footing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the final hour. I'm not gonna clean this while I'm up here. I'm not gonna like bring it or put it overhead, but I'm gonna basically sumo deadlift it. Mark Ripito would not approve. All right, we ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Woo, that was close to the camera. We're good though, all right. See the damage, the old damage. Okay, there's one. Oh. Oh no, that's user. Let me make sure that's user. Yeah. Well, make sure that's, no, it's holding. Sweet. Well, there you have it. Are you impressed? If you're worried about this bar, this part of the bar breaking, be worried no longer, because you're not going to do that. You're probably not going to do any of the stuff I just did, except for maybe some of the cleans. So it's holding. Now let's talk about the bar. It's kind of a weird segue. Like, how do I segue from that into actually doing something serious? Well, let's talk about the actual bar. So the reason that I'm not so worried about this part breaking, and I knew that was going to be fine, the reason I'm not that worried about it is because even if it does break, this isn't a complicated system. It's actually very simple. It may look complicated, but it's not. This piece is just a cast aluminum piece that is probably post-production used with, like, you know, some sort of pliers or something to bend it into shape. So it's probably like typically like that, and they take pliers once it's on here and then bend it around to make sure it conforms. So if this breaks for whatever reason, let's say, you know, I don't know, whatever happens, it could jam or something, then you pry it off and put a new one on. It's not permanently embedded in here. It's just sitting on top with some magnets that allows it to sit in. I mean, this, I've said this before about Concept 2 products. This is the epitome of the Einstein quote that says, make things as simple as possible, but no simpler. And that's what this is. It's just a simple, like, it looks complex because we're used to a smooth sleeve, but it's just some ridges that are cut into it with a track for this to go in, sit in, a little home right here, and then to go on, okay? Now, that said, this system isn't perfect, and here's what's not perfect about it, is you probably noticed this when I was putting it on, but when I slide this on to the very end, I can't get it in. So the closest I can get to being flush with the plate is that one right there. So that means there is always some sort of play in there. Now, to me, that's annoying, but that's not like a deal breaker, because if you're using plates, and let's say you're doing CrossFit and you're doing high repetition stuff, that collar is going to come off a little bit, no matter how good your collar is, a little bit. So it's going to come off more than that, but this is how it's going to be from the very start. So if that annoys you, avoid this, because that's basically as good as it's going to get, depending on the plate size. Some plates, like that 5 kilogram, when I put it on, I'll just show you for example, when I put the 5 kilogram on, it sits flush up against the plate. So, like, very little play right there versus the 25 or the 10 or the 20s. So, something to consider. Now, here's the other thing to consider, and this is the biggest consideration for pretty much all of you, is the price. This thing is stupid expensive, okay? Sorry, Gungnir, I love the idea. My thought was you should license this to Eleiko, to Rogue, these other companies that are making barbells, and have them use this functionality. Regardless, you've decided to go your own route, so you made your own barbell, but it's very expensive. It's almost $800. $800 on a barbell that, although it's a good bar, it's not an Eleiko. It's not proven yet, okay? You can get Rogue's best barbell using EU steel, and it's 700, 600, it's under 800 bucks. So $800 for a general purpose bar is stupid expensive, especially when you can buy a freaking really solid pair of collars for 50 bucks. So 800 bucks, you have to decide if that's worth it. Now, onto the shaft really quickly. The knurling on the shaft is actually quite nice. It's a good bar. It's 200K, I believe, tensile strength steel, made in Norway. It's 28 millimeters with bushings. It's a good, just like general purpose. It has a nice, more passive center knurl with a more aggressive outer knurl, but not too aggressive. It is using, no, it's not using Volcano, but it's chopping. Basically what they're doing is they're running 2 passes, or they're chopping the tops off of the knurling. So they're cutting it deep and they're chopping the tops off. So it's not uber aggressive, but it's got enough there. You can tell they're using great machinery because it starts and stops very evenly. I mean, it's a good bar. It's coated, I believe this is chrome. They wanted to come out with one in blue Cerakote. I'm glad they went with chrome, although stainless steel would have been better. But regardless, bushings are okay, they spin well. It's not going to be spin like a bearing bar, but it's going to do a good job. But really the standout feature and the reason you want this is the sleeve. So my opinion, if you got 800 bucks to spend on something cool and you really don't like collars, then get it. But for most people, it's just too expensive. It's egregious. It's 800 bucks, okay? Eleiko, they can charge that because they're proven, they've been around for years. But even in my opinion, Eleiko really isn't even worth what I mean, it's almost too expensive. So my hope is that they're able to bring the price down, or they're able to license this to some other companies. So that's Coop's take on the Gungnir Allrounder. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the bar. Would you spend 800 bucks on this? Let me know in the comments. We'll see you next time. Peace. Oh, yeah. Oh.